Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming my January wrap up and the light was very nice, so I'm very happy about that. I read 16 books in January, which I'm very happy about. I read more than I thought I would and read some extra than what I had put myself as the main goal, so I'm very happy about that. And yay, 16 books is a really good number. Sorry. And I probably won't be doing that well throughout all the months, but hopefully, it just went very well and I'm happy. So, as per usual, I will be going through the books I read for Faithful Season, and my wrap up for that will be up by the end of January, so you will hear my thoughts on all the books I read for that. Done. First we have the first book in True Blood series by Charlie Harris. I have thoughts, so it will be fun to talk about it. Then we have Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan, book 10 in Wheel of Time. I will kind of be talking about this anyway a bit in this wrap up because reasons you will see soon. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but who cares? And then we have Batgirl Unlimited by Echo Brown. This would arrive very late, so I decided to actually listen to the audiobook of this. But yeah, it's read by the author, so it's very good. More thoughts to come soon in my God Faithful Season wrap up. And then finally, The Weight of the Stars by Kay Ancrum, which also was very good. So yay. Look out for that wrap up by the end of February, and then also the next season challenges will be up. Now we have those out of the way, then I can talk about Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. So if you saw my January TBR, you know that I found out that this is both the first book, but I thought at first that this was book 1 and this was book 2. So I had only put the part 1 on my TBR, but then I was like, if I have time, I will get to part 2. And I did have time, so I read the whole book. I count this as 2 books just because I never planned to read them together. You know, they came in 2 books in Norwegian, so whatever. But it's only book 1 in the Pillars of the Earth. And this one basically follows all these different characters that you can actually see on the cover. This is like the TV shows people, and they live in England in the 1100s. Yes, and they want to build this cathedral in this place called Kingsbridge. And there's lots of different challenges for why they can build it, and then they can build it, and then it stops, and then they can't build it. And there's also this civil war going on because, well, they're fighting for the throne of England and stuff. This war affects the building of this cathedral. I cannot say that word. And then we also have different characters with different struggles. We have Tom, who is here, who is a builder, and he wants to provide for his family, and he is the build master for the cathedral. Not really a spoiler because it's kind of obvious it will happen. And then we have Jack and Alina was a lady, daughter of Earl thing, and then they lose their position, so she has to work really hard to get into a comfortable life again, and many different things. And the thing about this is that it was very good at making us care about the characters. I wanted them to be okay for the people who was good. I wanted them to be okay so badly, and every time something went bad in their life, I felt really bad for them. And the author was really good at making us fall in love with these characters so much. And the same with the villains, they made us really hate them. It was just so intensely hate that you wanted them to get fucked over so hard. But at the same time, it was very much these people are evil, these people are good, and some of course had a bit of redemption and stuff, but it was still a very these are good, these are bad. And I think that people are more complex than that. And also there was a lot of graphic sexual assault and rape, or attempted assault, sexual assault, or but there was also really written out rape scenes for no reason at all. In general, I think in historical fiction there's too much rape anyway, for no reason at all. We didn't need 4 pages of a rape scene. It could have happened fine, not it is fine, but it could have been in there, but we didn't need all the details about it. And several times, because this is one character that has to rape everyone. Those graphic scenes were unnecessary. I don't mind blood and gore, but it was just very graphic sexual assaults, and I don't know. It was weird that why it needed to be so detailed, I guess. Except for the weird graphic shit, I think it was pretty decent books. I like the characters. I want to know that everything was going on. And also, of course, religion is a very prominent theme in the book because they're building a cathedral. It's very close to God and stuff. So yeah, it was also interesting. Oh my god, why is my bookmark inside the book? I think I just put it there after I finished it at work and then I didn't take it out. But yeah, I had this on my TBR probably for the longest. Probably for I was going to say 10 years, but something around that. And it's been so intimidating for me because I don't even know why, but it just has. And now I finally read it, and it wasn't that bad to read at all. And yay. So I ended up giving the first part 3.54 and second part the same, 3.54 stars-ish. Because it was a solid story, but it was not perfect by any means. I then read Black Ties of Heaven by Neon Young. This one is the book pick of the month for January for Faes and Gaze, which is a book club I'm co-hosting where we read queer, fantasy or sci-fi every single month. This one, like, I read it and I was just like, we're gonna have a live show, and I just like, what happened? Actually, like, I haven't calculated when this will be up, but the live show might be live. So if it is, I will leave it linked down below. It's actually on my channel, so maybe you already watched it. We are set in this world where everyone can choose their gender when they wish to. So there's like, before you choose, you don't have to choose, but before you choose, it's like neutral, which is good. We follow these two twins called Mokoya and Akea, and they live in this monastery at first, and then they need to like go back to their mother later and stuff. And it's basically about the one twin. Akea kind of joins the rebellion, then he becomes further away from the twin Mokoya, and there's like, you know, sibling relationship. I don't even know, like, it's not as complex as I make it sound like. It was just very solid short story. It made you care a lot about the characters and what was happening. Like, several years pass, you just feel so close to them, and you want these two twins to just, that made me seem really sexual. I just meant like that I want them to reconcile and be happy together and not let their mother decide their lives. And yeah, there's just, yeah. So I'm very excited to continue reading the series when I get to it. I know the next novella follows like the other twin. Now we follow Akea, and I don't know, it had a very interesting look upon gender, and it was just fun fantasy. And now I feel like I need to refresh the details before the live show, but that's how I roll. It's a super easy read though, because it's so short. I feel like I could not talk about this consistently. No, my brain just cannot. So yeah, I just read like Pillars of the Earth, like the second part, so it was easier to talk about that. Point is, I really liked it. 4 out of 5 stars. And I recommend it a lot. Like, it was a very good story, and since it's so short, I think it's approachable for anyone. Sorry about that. Then I read, where is it? Spy Family, Volume 3 by Tatsuya Endo. This one is a manga series following a spy named Twilight who needs to have a fake family to do this one mission. So he needs to get a daughter and a wife, and the wife is an assassin and the daughter is a telepath, and the daughter, obviously, since she's a telepath, can read the mind that she knows her father is a spy and her mother is an assassin, but none of them know that the other one knows, and it's just really hilarious. We have the daughter trying to go to school because she needs to go to school to that was like the whole point of getting her. You see her trying to fit in, and the mother's just like being an assassin, and the father's just like being a spy, and it's just hilarious. Like, it's serious because like he has to do murder people. Then generally it's just like a really good comedy feel. I just love it so much. Like, I adore it, and I'm just so excited to just keep reading this. I recommend it a lot, and yeah, like, it just gets better and better. It's just hilarious all the way. Oh, we are all faking to be this family, but also they are also becoming a real family, and they clearly like start to care for each other, and it's just the best thing ever. I then read The Gilly Wounds by Namina Forna. This one I have a full review up on my channel and has a release date of the 9th of February. Very soon. When is this video going up? Probably before then. I don't even know anymore. As I said, I have a full video review, so I recommend checking that out, because now my brain is like, what happened? What is this about? I don't even know. But basically, it followed, what was the name of the main character? Deca. It follows Deca, and in this world you get checked if you're pure, like when you're 16 or 18, and then if your blood is gold and not like red, like normal blood, then you're seen upon as a demon, and it's only girls that has to go through this, and then you basically get killed. So that's fun. But now the king wants all the girls that is demons to fight for him in the army, to fight these things called death streaks. They have been like in the war with for a really long time. There's like big monster thingies that kill people. Secrets brewing, and there is reasons for things, and I really just liked how the book created this world and the reasons for the world. Like, it's not just like, it's like this, it makes sense, and I really like that. There were some parts of the story I was just a bit like, why is it like this? Because it was just too, I guess I would say, easy setup for certain things, and I'll talk more about that in my review. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for the next book in the series. I think it's a trilogy, perhaps a duology, but I'm just very excited to see where we go, because now after reading like the final pages of the book, I have no idea what will happen, and I'm just very excited. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and we recommend it a lot for like anyone basically. They like YA fantasy and fantasy in general. Yay! Like literally also a book I would recommend for people who wants to get into fantasy more because it's just such an approachable book, I think. Yay! I then read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which is the first book in the Starlock Archive series. This is also in 2 parts, but this one I counted as 1 book. I had a full reading vlog of this on my channel because I wanted to like film reactions and stuff when reading this for the first time, and it is up. So check it out if you want that. And I still don't know how to describe this book. I tried like in my vlog, I tried in my favorites, and I try now, and I do not know how to describe it. But basically, we're at this war because the other people claim to have killed the king of the country we are basically in, but there's different countries and a big massive war where they talk about loads of different places, and I have no idea what's going on. Basically, we follow Kaladin, who's like the main characters, but we do follow other characters, but like Banana, he's a bridgeman in this army, and he's forced to be one, and they basically like the lowest of the low. They need to carry out bridges when they're gonna move over these plains, when they're gonna fight other peeps, like in different attacks, and like it's basically you're dead if you do that. I don't know, he's working to keep his bridge crew alive. And we also follow, for example, this other scholar woman called Shalnar, I don't remember her name, and she is trying to become like the ward of like a really big historian to steal this thing. So we follow her too, and we also follow like the king's uncle and his son and stuff. So yay! I don't even know, and also random other people. But yeah, Brandon Sanderson's style enough is that it's a complex magic system. We have this war, we have this setup, but then he always challenges, I think, the setup he makes for us. Like he's like, it's like this, but then it's never really like this. And I love how he does that. I love how he sets it up, and it always comes so natural, and he sets up this conflict, and then when that gets resolved, it feels so satisfying. I just adore this so much. I don't understand the brain power because I don't have brains, but like even more brain power than Brandon Sanderson does have, and I just like, it was so satisfying, and I wanted to cry. It's long though, it's like 1000 pages, and I question like the like main plot isn't, I wouldn't say like everything moved forward really quickly. Like it's slow paced, but it's definitely worth it because it feels so satisfying when you come to the end. And also like it's a setup definitely for a bigger, grander story, but it's not like, I wouldn't say like you can read this as a standalone like the first Mistborn book. Like you need to know that this is a journey, and if you have that in mind, you won't be bothered by like, oh my god, but the plot didn't move that much. But like it's so important really, I think, this one to characterize the world and definitely more the characters, and then we will see what will happen. I'm kind of scared because I think it's gonna be a bit of hell. Oh my god, that was much better. The camera was so tall, I feel like I had to sit like this, but now it's much better. I have like the books I already read here, so I wanted you like to see it grow, but it's an ugly chair. I'm sorry, please don't fall. I don't know why the camera was so tall. I like probably look squished, I'm sorry. So then we have The Promised, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, that happened. The Promised Neverland by volume 11 by Kair Shirai. This one I forgot to mention in my January TBR. I knew I was going to read it, but I just forgot it existed. But yeah, I read it, and I don't have words. Like everything, like the arc we've been in kind of wrapped up in this one. I don't know how to describe it. And then we decided things, and I am not okay. That's all I gotta say. Oh, that rhymed. Also, Promised Neverland follows these kids in an orphanage that are super happy and nice, and then I found out a really big dark secret about the orphanage they are in, and well, you have to read it yourself to find out what the heck that means, but it's just the best thing. I love it so much. Like, I have less than half left now, and I'm just like, I'm judging it because I don't want to finish it, but also like I want to finish it because I need to know what's gonna happen. But I'm not okay, and I'm just so excited for every single volume. Like, I don't understand the brain power again in this. Like, when I read it first, I was just like, the setup was like, oh okay, but then it was everything. So yeah, because I was like, this is kind of like we've seen it before, but then the brain power, the plot twist in this, I have never read anything like it. I cannot understand the brain power. Again, I use the word brain power a lot in this video. I'm sorry. Please stand. So then I managed to get to my extra books, I guess. Like, I had them on TBR, but I wasn't sure I was going to get them. But I did. So I read Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerell, and I have something in my eye, or not. And this one I had on my TBR for a really long time, and I was just like, I picked it randomly because I like randomized TBR. I'm like, why did I have this? This is the kind of YA that like I cannot get behind anymore. and I feel sad about that, but that's just how it feels. So this one follows Britta, who is then hired to find her father's killer, who is then her childhood best friend, Cohen, and then she needs to go out and hunt him down. Father died and she doesn't know really why, kind of. So yay. But I don't know how to describe this kind of YA. Like, I love YA, I don't want to trash it or anything, but this was just like so bland. Like, nothing about this stood out for me at all. Like, I know some people love it and I hope that's really great for them, but it was just like, it was just nothing in it. Britta was just like a bland piece of bread. So was Cohen, her childhood best friend. So was like everything going on. Like when they revealed like, oh my god, this character is that, or like, oh my god, it's really like this. I was just like, yeah. And like, I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't really have high expectations, but I hoped it would be like anything more, because I usually, with these stories, I always find something I like, even though like I know that not all the elements would be like amazing and grand and mind-blowing. Like, yeah, it doesn't need to be all that. Like, that's okay, because I don't expect that of every book. But this was just nothing. Like, it was just reading the air. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it was just so bland. I didn't care for any of the characters. The writing was boring. The plot was boring. It was really mainly a journey plot as well, but nothing interesting happened on the journey. Like, I love myself a journey, but there was just nothing. And I'm very disappointed. Like, I didn't really have high hopes. But yeah, it's a pretty cover though, and like, I didn't hate it, and I can see certain people like it, and I could recommend it for certain people if I knew they wanted like an easy, really chill story. But for me, nah. I had a second book and I will probably finish the series because that's how I roll, and maybe I will like it more when I guess the stakes are higher now that we set the groundwork, because I usually tend to do that. But overall, just like the writing and the things that were happening, it was just like, I don't care. I don't know. It was just so like, I don't know how to give you an example. It was this one character that was just like, oh my god, but I'm really this. And we were like, oh, that's nice. And then like they literally like died 5 seconds afterwards. I was just like, why am I here? I knew it was gonna happen, but I was just like hoping the book wouldn't do that. But it did. But yeah, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. So not really for me. We then have The Archived by Victoria Schwab. So I finally read this book that I had for ages, and like it's one of Victoria's first books. So this one basically follows, what's her name? Mackenzie, and then she is like a keeper, and their task is to make sure that these dead, well, basically ghosts, don't go out in our world. And the dead are called histories, and they rest in the archive. So it's basically like a library but full of the dead and not books. And her job is to like keep them out. And then they move to this new place. That's like the beginning of the book, and there's like loads of histories there. And yeah, I just really like the concept of like histories and the archive and keepers, and just like the whole idea that like need to stop the hunting and stuff. It reminded me actually kind of a bit of like City of Ghosts, like her middle grade series. Like, not at all like the way they did the ghost things, but it's definitely like ghost related, and it just reminded me a bit of each other. But like, that's totally fine. But like, I would recommend anyone who likes the one to the other. So that was really nice. Like, there was like, this part was in the end, and I was just like, okay. I kind of had a feeling. I didn't mean to say that every plot twist need to be like super amazing or just like never what you expected, like in Promised Neverland, for example. That's fine. But it was just like a kind of old type of reveal where it was like, oh, we're in the end, and now we're gonna like, now the villain comes forward and it's gonna have their speech, kind of. I don't know how to describe it. And it was just like, I think those kind of feelings in stories are just, they're hilarious. I don't know, it just reminds me of like really like old cozy movies when just like the villain comes forward and have like a speech in the end. And when it happens in books, I just find it so weird now. I am all on board. It's just funny. I don't know why, I think it's funny. But yeah, I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed Mackenzie. Yeah, she also lost a brother. I forgot to mention that. Like, she also lost a brother, and that is why like her family is really struggling right now. But like, loss, and also just like finding a place in yourself to move on, but also never forget what you lost. And yeah, just the themes of the book and the writing was really good, and the original ideas. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm excited to read the sequel, and then never read a third book because it doesn't exist. Yay. Please don't fall, it's fine. I also read Bloom Into You Volume 8 by Nakatani Neo. This is the final volume in this manga series, which follows these 2 girls, Nanami and you. Yes, and basically in the beginning you let Nanami love on her because like you can fall in love, but then like, you know, love blossoms, I would say. And like there was also like this student council play, and like just the characters growing. It's been so touching and cute and adorable the whole way, and the hair was just perfect. I cried, I was screaming, like it was just everything you could want. It was just so happy and pure and fluffy, and I give it like 5 out of 5 stars because I think the end was just top notch, exactly what we wanted and needed. Like if it had been sad, I would have been so pissed. Like the author really knew that they could give us a really sad ending, because that would have just been so cruel. And yeah, good on you, author. So 5 out of 5 stars. Very happy that I finished it. Actually finished the manga series, but also just like beautiful and very cute. So if you ever want like a Yuri manga, this one. That's all I got to say. And I also read Beastars by Paru Itagaki, volume 5, and oh my god! I finished this like yesterday. It was the last book I like physically read, and it was just so good. I don't even know how to describe it anymore because I don't want to spoil. It's so hard to talk about manga because like if you haven't read it, you can't really talk about it because, you know, spoilers. The basic set in a world where all beasts or animals don't eat each other anymore, and then there's always this conflict between like the small animals and the big animals, and we follow this wolf called Legoshi, who you can see his butt behind here, and he's actually like the purest, I hate myself, and the softest wolf ever, but everyone is just like judging him by like his scary looks, but like really he's pure and kind, and yeah. And he falls in love with this bunny named Haru, and you know, bunnies are prey, so yeah, there's this whole thing about that. Lots of other things happening, like there's killings happening, and we see darker sides of the society of how like black markets and stuff, and it is some dark shit, but it's also very fun, and I have dry lips, I'm sorry, and I just adore it so much. Like it's weird, but it's just so good, and I was screaming throughout this volume. It became intense, and yeah, I just cannot deal how much I enjoy it. It's such a good series, and I'm so excited to just keep reading it. It was just very interesting with like the psychology, but also just like you saw some blood and murder. Yay! I give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I am very excited to just keep reading it and be happy. Please don't fall. Yay! And for the last book, if I can get this bookmark out that I don't need, I read Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan. So I read another Wheel of Time book because I had like 1 week left of the month when I finished my 2 first audiobooks, and I was just like, oh, I need something now. I don't like going without an audiobook for long. If it's like 1 day left, then I don't bother starting a new one. And I was just like, oh, it's only 16 hours long if you have double speed on. You listen at double speed, judge me all you want, and I can do it in 1 week. And then yesterday I had like 7 hours left, and I was just like, yesterday was last out of the month, and I sat through a whole yesterday and listened like 7 hours of audiobook to finish this, so I could include it in my wrap up. I don't like to like transfer books if I started them. So that happened, and I finished it, and oh my god, like that's why I said I would talk a bit about Wheel of Time anyway, because like oh shit, I did not expect that. Are you all okay? My babies, oh my god, don't fall. I hope I kept that on camera. That looked hilarious probably. What was I saying? Yeah, I said I was going to talk about Wheel of Time anyway. Sorry, I got really distracted. The last 2 or 3 books before this, I cannot remember which one, nothing has happened. Like, they're just like, every time we catch up a character, and then they're just like, we're with them, and nothing happened. I think it's called like the slog in Wheel of Time, where like nothing happens. And it's not fun. But things happen, like all the things we've been building up, like the last 3 books, they all went down in this one, and there's just so many things happened. It was just so good, and I was just literally like listen to the audiobook like this while like doing my shit, and which is like battles, like several battles, and just like so many other storylines that we've just been basically waiting like 3 books. Is it 3 or 2? I don't remember, but a couple of books for it to like finally wrap up, where like it's literally been no progress in anything. Like all of those, you can literally cut them and you wouldn't miss a thing, and that's why it's so frustrating. It's also sadly the last book that Robert Jordan wrote, because you know he passed away after this, so Brandon Sanderson is writing the next ones, and I will probably get Wheel of Time again in March, and I'm not ready. Like, we are really closing up in the end, and I feel like this story could have gone on even longer, which is what I think Robert Jordan at all, like, he wanted, but, you know, he passed away, so sadly. And I just like, yeah, I'm just so happy that I read this, because like I gave like Sorts of Twilight spoilers for my God of Faithful season wrap up like 2 stars, because nothing happened. I was just reading the same book, like the last book, but here, oh my god, I gave this 4 and 5 stars. Like the story, it picked up, and just things, I don't know, it was so satisfying and so good, and it has so many complexities and characters and cultures, and I am mind blown. Like so much, this world is like one of the most real words I ever read. And I realized I didn't even say what Wheel of Time is about, but I realized like it would take me ages. It basically follows some characters in this place called Emerald's Field, and then there's a wizard shows up that is not a wizard, it's called Asdai, and then she's like, oh, by the way, one of you is the chosen, let's go. And then yeah, they go out on this journey, but it's not really about that. I'm planning to make a whole Wheel of Time video when I finish the series. I only have 2 books left now, so we will see. But overall, just yeah, it was worth it, but like the slog, oh my god, I didn't even know it was called a slog, and then I found out, I was just like, I can see it now. Okay, so that was all the books I read in January. This wrap up was great work, and you will see me soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and leave a knife emoji down below, because it was the last book we talk about. It sounds so stabby, but okay. Goodbye.